The following is a paid program by Gary C. Johnson, attorney at law. Welcome to Simply the Law, the program that gives you free legal information. Brought to you by the law office of Gary C. Johnson. Hello everyone, welcome into Simply the Law. I'm Keith Casebolt. It's a real privilege to be on television talking to you, and it's a bigger privilege to bring you information about the law with this guy who's my friend and the host, Gary C. Johnson.
It's good to be here, Keith. Good to be here. Well, folks, here we are again on Simply the Law, and we're going to be talking, guess what, a little bit about the law. Right. Don't switch us off yet, even though you've got the clicker and you're ready to go, because I really think there's some things on this program that may be of some benefit to you and some interest to you. We have been doing this a long time, Keith and I have, and we've talked about a lot of things over the years as we've done this program in Eastern Kentucky. One of the things that I've said many times, and I used to have it on commercials, was a statement that the lawyer you choose does make a difference. And Keith and I were talking, and Keith said, well, why? Why does that make a difference? And it's just like in any other profession. You have some people that are professionals, and you have some that are businessmen or women, and you have some that have experience, and you have some that don't have experience, and you have some that are just lazy, and then you have some that will really work hard. So why does it make a difference in the sense of us in our real world? Let's just assume, for purposes of what I'm talking about, that you have a major injury, a serious major injury, one that will impact you for the rest of your life. This is just an example I'm giving you. You now have the choice of choosing someone to represent you. And that person, that attorney that you choose, or lawyer, whichever we call it, will be the person that's your advocate to see to it that you have the things you need to take care of you for the rest of your life and to compensate you for what happened to you. Now let's assume you've decided that you want to find a mate and get married. So how do you do that? You see different people, and you date them, and you spend time with them, and you find out if you're compatible, and then ultimately you determine whether or not, over a period of months, maybe even years, whether or not this is the person that you want to have an impact on your life for the rest of your life. Yet the impact on a serious injury can be just as great to you as choosing a mate when you choose the lawyer to represent you in a serious injury case. So how do you do that? Well, is it an advertisement such as this one? Do you just look in the phone book? Does some friend say, I've heard this lawyer is a good lawyer? How do you do that?
Gary, I have actually heard some people who have been in a horrible accident said, you know, I'm going to have to go with my sister's nephew because he's in the family, and I've always told him if I ever had a case, I would bring it to him, but I don't really know if he's capable of handling it. I mean, we've got people who are talking about their life is on the line, but yet they're going to put it in the hands of someone because they owe someone a favor, or they're a blood relative, or because somebody just recommended them. Worst thing that you could possibly do, isn't it?
You need to be careful when you pick your lawyer mate, especially if it's a serious case.
That's a good analogy, lawyer mate.
Because that person that attorney is going to probably have as great an impact on your life if you're seriously injured as the person you will ultimately choose as a mate or have chosen as a mate. Now, you may say, well, he's dramatizing. I'm not. Be careful. Screen those lawyers. Interview them. Make sure they know what they're doing. Don't do it on a whim. And under no circumstance do you hire a lawyer that comes to your house and asks you to hire them. It is illegal for the lawyer to do that. They have committed a Class A misdemeanor if they do that. And that lawyer has already told you they do not have ethics.
Wow.
They have broken the ethics of our profession if they come to you and solicit your case. Do you know what you're dealing with when that happens? And if any attorney is watching this that's done it, shame on you. It is unethical. It is illegal for a lawyer to call you and ask you for your case. Bottom line. And if they've done it, they are unethical and they have broken the law of this state. Now, let's get to the computer. I want to talk to you a little bit. Well, better yet, let's take a break and then come back to the computer.
What a very important show, because I think what Gary is pointing out tonight is if you had that serious injury to your head, you don't go see a baby doctor. You go see the neurosurgeon or the doctor that can help you. So we've got a lot of information tonight. It's simply the law. We're talking about information that could be a lifesaver for you. Please stay with us. We'll be back more with Gary C. Johnson on Simply the Law. Simply the Law with Gary C. Johnson. We'll be back in just a moment.
I'm Gary C. Johnson. If you've been hurt in a wreck, you need a talented team to help you put your life back together. For more on the talented team we have put together, go to GaryCJohnson.com and click on Attorney Profiles, or call 800-555-5595. At the Gary C. Johnson Law Firm, we make our living helping people put their lives back together. We want to represent you. Give us a call.
Welcome back to Simply the Law. Gary, during the break, I was thinking about the analogy you put together there about the life mate. When this case is going on and you're trying to recover for the damages, I'm not sure that most people realize the damages are going to have to do you for your life. This is going to be what sustains you and your family. This decision that you're making may be the most important decision you'll ever make.
It's one of them. It is a very important decision that you need to be very careful when you make it. And it really doesn't matter if it's a serious injury or a small injury. An injury to me, actually there's no such thing as a small injury if it's mine. I guess you guys feel the same way, right? But you just need to be careful. There's good lawyers out there. There's good competent attorneys out there that will represent you and do it right. It's not the ones that come to you and solicit your case.
Can I ask you one more question?
It's not.
Have you actually had people come to you that say, they come to you after the fact, they've already settled their case, and they have the thought that after it's over and done and they've settled, well, it wasn't the verdict I wanted. It didn't cover the damages. I'm going to go see another attorney and I'm going to re-sue. Do you actually have people believe that they can do that?
I've had many people come to me over the years that were represented by others, and they said, I only got this, my injuries were this. What can I do? And I look at those people and I say nothing. Once you sign the release, once you hire that attorney and sign the contract, then that's where you will be. That's your case. I can't talk to you if you have an attorney. It is unethical for me to discuss your case with you if you have a lawyer. Therefore, I will not do it. I can't. That's why you have to be so careful when you hire someone to represent you. They then are a barrier between you and the rest of the world. You have to be able to trust them to take care of your business. And if you're leery of that lawyer, if you've got any questions about them, don't hire them. You don't have, unless your statute of limitations is running on you, you've got plenty of time to choose a lawyer. And trust me, the lawyer you choose does make a difference. Let's go to the computer now, okay?
I think we've found that out tonight. Good point.
There's the numbers of the Pikeville office. It's 800-337-4002. The number you've seen on the commercial, will ring into the Lexington office. Go to our website if you need to know more information about the people or us or anything. Just GaryCJohnson.com. In general, make sure you have underinsurance that protects you and your family. I cannot emphasize that enough. I made an oath years ago to put this on every program. It will always be on every program. Arbitration. Never sign a document agreeing that any dispute will be settled by arbitration. You will end up giving up your rights to a trial by jury, and your case will then be decided by people that are not partial. They will be partial to the people that had you sign the agreement. You will not come out. You will find these arbitration agreements in nursing home admission papers now. You'll see them on coal leases. Hospital admissions. Some hospitals are now trying to put those into the admission papers. Don't sign them. Say, look, I do not want to sign this agreement, this arbitration agreement. Common sense. Got to talk about that. We always do try to talk about it a little bit. Appreciate the people you associate with. You're associating with them for a reason. Appreciate them. Family, friends, co-workers. Those are the people. Let's go off this. I want to talk to you about it. Today is your life. Not yesterday and not tomorrow. Wherever you are right now, that's where you are, right? You're not someplace else, I hope. The people you're with are the people you're with, not who you might fantasize you would rather be with. That is your life. Get everything you can from that and be there with those people. And appreciate the fact they are in your life. And let them know you do, and then they will appreciate you. In other words, trust them, so they will trust you. But don't live your life tomorrow, and don't live your life in the past. I went to Italy one time, and that country is living in the past. It's worshiping its ruins. And it is not having any progress of any kind going on. I'm just using that as an example. You can't live in the past and glorify it. You live today. And you can't live for tomorrow because you don't know if it's going to be here. There's no promise of a tomorrow. There's a hope, but no promise. But you are here today.
Gary, when you talk about appreciating people, I would imagine all of us that's watching, and certainly me included, we've all had people in our lives that we thought we appreciated. We thought they knew what they did at our company, our business, our church, our community, and then we lost them. They may have passed away. And then we found out exactly how important this person was to us, how important they were to the company, to the community. And then we're thinking, man, I wish I had let this person know while they were here with us how important they were.
Let me give you an example of something I thought about. You go to someone's funeral, and you never hear anyone say anything bad about that person. Yet if you would put that same collection of people together before they died, what would they say about them?
Oh man, we're all guilty.
If you're not going to badmouth them at their funeral, don't badmouth them today, is my point I'm making. And if you don't have it has always been a mystery to me, is how that when someone dies, nobody at the funeral has anything bad to say about them. But yet, probably a month before, they may have been yippee gossiping about it. It should be that way all the time. You shouldn't have to die for people to stop talking bad about you or saying mean things behind your back. Don't do it. That's just my point. Let's go back to the computer. I got some stuff I want to talk to you about. Honest appreciation always gets results where criticism fails. Always. Dale Carnegie. I shall pass this way but once. Any good, therefore, that I can do, or any kindness that I can show to any human being, let it be now. Let me not defer nor neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again.
Boy, that's great.
Simple.
That is great, isn't it?
Be there.
Yeah.
Joy and Sorrow, the author of the book, Khalil Gibran. When you have sorrow in your heart, you know in truth that you are weeping for that which has been your delight. The deeper your sorrow, the greater your joy was from having that person in your life. Appreciate the depth of your sorrow.
You know, you gave me a copy of that book some years ago, and I read that over and over and over, and it really made an impact on me. We all pick up the page of the obituaries. We see a stranger's name. We read it. We go on. There's no impact. We pick up the obituaries, and we see a friend's name, a coworker, or a relative. Immediately, we feel pain. And I thought about this passage. That's because that person made an impact on our life. They brought joy into our life.
A person gave me a copy of that book probably 30 years ago when I had lost someone. And they said, read this and try to understand, and I think it may help you through it. And it was amazing. Once you understand that your grief and your sorrow for losing someone is in direct proportion to how much joy they gave you when they were alive, then you can rejoice in your sorrow and the depth of it, because it's a balance. Because you wouldn't be feeling the sorrow had you not had the joy. And it made perfect sense. And if any of you are going through that now that may be watching this program, I hope that's of some benefit to you. It was a tremendous benefit to me to understand that the loss was a loss and sorrow only because of the joy that I had that I was now giving up. And hope it's of some benefit to you. Are we ready for another break?
I think we are. It's the being there. It's a very important subject. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you're listening to the words that Gary's telling you. We'll be right back with Simply the Law and Gary C. Johnson after this. Simply the Law with Gary C. Johnson will be back in just a moment.
I'm Gary C. Johnson. If you've been hurt in a wreck, you need a talented team to help you put your life back together. For more on the talented team we have put together, go to GaryCJohnson.com and click on Attorney Profiles, or call 800-555-5595. At the Gary C. Johnson Law Firm, we make our living helping people put their lives back together. We want to represent you. Give us a call.
Welcome back to Simply the Law. Before we go any further in this program, I want to personally thank you. This is not the first time Gary's had the information about being there. It has made a wonderful difference in my life because I've listened to this man. I've taken his words of wisdom to heart. Probably have had the best time with my kids, the best vacation. the best relationship with coworkers, because now when I'm with somebody, I constantly remind myself of what Gary said. If you're going to take time to be at a lunch, to be in church, to be on a vacation, to spend time with your parents, with your friends, or even be at work, tell yourself that little line before you go: I'm going to be there. Turn off the phone, turn off the distractions, concentrate wholly and fully on what you're doing. And I promise you, you'll find what I've found. You will come out richer, happier than you've ever been before. And for that, my friend, I really thank you.
You're very welcome, my friend. It took me years to figure that out. Let's go to the computer. I got stuff I want to talk to you folks about. Truck wrecks. Drive defensively. When you're around trucks, wear your seatbelts, stay within the speed limit. Be courteous to all truckers. They have a rough job. Those trucks are hard to handle. It is amazing we don't have more wrecks than we do.
Gary, I don't want to interrupt you, but my brother he's a truck driver. He drives an 18-wheeler. He hauls coal. It's a very tough job. There's not a week goes by that he doesn't tell me about a driver who cut him off, who pulled in front of him, put on the brakes, who was speeding around him, and he says, I'm in constant fear, trying to make sure that I don't hurt anyone. And the word he used is, I wish they had more respect for the truckers that's on the road. We are trying to do the right thing.
The point I'm making about the trucks, and I want to make it to you folks that are watching, and thank you for watching. We have to have trucks if we are going to have food to eat, if we're going to have coal delivered, if we're going to have lumber, if we're going to have supplies. In other words, trucks are vital to our economy. We would have no economy without trucks, period. We take trucks for granted, and we take truck drivers for granted. Most truck drivers, the vast majority, are nothing more than good, honest, decent men and women that are trying to make a living for their family, that wants to do and trying to do with every fiber of their body the right thing. Now, occasionally you will have a trucker that's not that way. But I think that is the exception rather than the rule. From now on, those of you that are watching, I want you to be aware when trucks are around you, and I want you to make every effort to make sure you don't cause that trucker to be put in a position of having to worry about what you are doing. Stay back from the trucks. Be careful. If a truck is trying to get over, let it get over. Be courteous. Remember, that truck is vital to you and your family. That truck is the difference in whether you're going to have food to eat. It's whether you're going to have gasoline in the gasoline pumps. Those trucks are vital to our community. And instead of saying, oh, it's a nuisance, it's a big truck, it's in my way. Wake up, folks. If you're doing that, quit doing it. We need these truckers, and we need these trucks on our highways. And we need to show them the proper respect that they deserve and appreciate them with everything we've got. I am so grateful when I see a truck to the person that's behind the wheel of that truck, because they are making the economy move. They are making things happen. They are making sure that we have an economy. If you took all the trucks off the road tomorrow, where would we be?
Wow.
Just think about it. What would happen to us? Just think. We need to be courteous. We need to try to let our truckers know that we appreciate what they're doing, and let them know with all of our being that we understand how vital what they're doing is to our safety and our survival and our well-being. So take care of your truckers on the highway, folks, and because they are taking care of us. They are.
Let's take a final break.
Okay.
We'll take a final break and we come back. Gary made some great points there. If you've ever seen a trucker back one of those things in, you might think you're a pretty good driver. Maybe sometime you ask a friend who drives a truck to let you try. See how tough it is. They really have a tough job. We'll be right back with Simply the Law and Gary C. Johnson right after this. Simply the Law with Gary C. Johnson. We'll be back in just a moment.
I'm Gary C. Johnson. If you've been hurt in a wreck, you need a talented team to help you put your life back together. For more on the talented team we have put together, go to GaryCJohnson.com and click on Attorney Profiles, or call 800-555-5595. At the Gary C. Johnson Law Firm, we make our living helping people put their lives back together. We want to represent you. Give us a call. Can't we?
Welcome back to Simply the Law. You know, while we were in the break, one of the things I thought of when you said be courteous and think, we think I can stop, I can make this cut, I can make this maneuver, but we're driving a small vehicle. We're not driving an 18-wheeler that weighs thousands of pounds. It doesn't apply to the truck driver.
I tell you what, I was, the other day, this truck pulled over to back in, and he was in front of me, and I stopped. And I looked to see what he was getting ready to do, and I looked over and I saw this little old bitty space over here on the left. And that guy, it was amazing to me how he took that big old truck and he moved that wheel a little bit at a time. And he backed that thing into that little old bitty hole that had about this much distance on each side of it. And I just sat there and I said, I can't believe what I just saw. And it was such skill, the guy ought to be given some sort of award for being able to do something like that. And yet we don't, the skill levels of these men and women that are driving these trucks is just unbelievable. Their skill level is why we don't have more people killed, because they're so adept at dodging us.
Great point.
When we're doing foolish stuff. And what I'm saying to you folks, I mean, and I'm serious when I say this, and I see it all the time. Give truckers some courtesy and appreciate them. And I'm going to go to the computer. I just want one slide I want to show you. And there's the slide. In a car versus truck wreck, the car always loses, and severe injuries usually occur.
You know, Gary, that's the greatest point you've made in the whole program. The car always loses. Make sure it's not your fault. Do everything you can to be defensively. My friend, thank you for all the information.
Good to be here.
You know what? It really was good to be here, and I was here the entire time.
Fantastic.
I hope you were too. Thank you so much for tuning into this program. On behalf of my good friend Gary C. Johnson, I'm Keith Casebolt. We look forward to seeing you once again on Simply the Law.